New videos every day.
A lot of people tend to just start ignoring symptoms. They start ignoring how they feel. And as their body gets further and further away from really where they can feel good, they start accepting that as normal. I don't want you to do that. So let's take stock. How well are you sleeping? Are you getting a good 7.5 hours of sleep? Are you actually giving yourself the chance to get 7.5 hours? If you're trying to get just a few hours sleep because you think you'll get more done, I don't know many people that can do that. In fact, I don't know anybody that really does it well. So most people, if they get a good amount of sleep, are more productive. You got to remember that your body needs to get it down into a 4 stage of sleep where it can regenerate things for the next day. You got to make some new growth hormone. You've got to make other hormones and neurotransmitters and cofactors. You've got to be ready. So you just decide you're going to get a couple hours sleep and then you're going to try to go do something. You're behind. And every day that you do that, you're behind another day. So sleep is really important. And if you're not getting to sleep in a reasonable amount of time, it should take you 5 to 15 minutes to fall asleep. If you hit the pillow and you're asleep, you're too fatigued. You need to look at getting more rest. But if it takes you more than 15, 20 minutes to drift off, then you need to look at what's going on as well, because you should be able to drift off to sleep. The first thing we have to consider is the adrenal glands. So you might want to get yourself tested. There are some pretty good tests out there now. They're just based on saliva testing. They're even accepted by insurance. And you can actually see what your adrenal glands are doing, because that's what runs your daily cycle. So if you're finding that you're not sleeping very well, you're either not getting to sleep or you're waking up a lot, or you're just not waking up rested. Those are important factors. You may need to look at your cortisol levels and your DHEA. And that's pretty easily done. Like I said, there's a test where we can look at your cycle during the day. You basically take 4 samples, one in the morning when you wake up, one about noontime, one in the afternoon, and one before you go to bed. And then you send to the lab, and the lab gives you a little graph of your day. What should happen is to wake you up, cortisol comes up at a higher level, and then it falls off during the day. That's a normal graph. And then melatonin shows up to put you to sleep. Day after day, the cycle's going on, unless you've upset it. Now, the first thing you have to consider is sleep hygiene. Do you have a good place to sleep? Can it be dark and quiet, and is there not much to disturb you? If you've got electronics in there, it's probably better to pull them out of the room completely. Just have a room to sleep in. And if you've got a lot of pets that disturb you, you may have to reconsider whether they stay in the room or not. But look into what you can do to make a better environment. That's step number 1. And then try to get on a pretty regular schedule. Because if you give your body a chance, it'll fall into line and wake you up and put you to sleep just perfectly. That's the way the body should work. But if it's not working that way, you may need a test. You may need to take some certain supplements. You might even need some prescription drugs. But you're going to need to find a way to get that balance back. Now, the other thing we have to consider is the thyroid. So you probably want to get your thyroid looked at as well, especially if you're real fatigued or you're finding that you're getting some other symptoms, like maybe you're losing a little bit of hair. There's a lot of things that go along with being either hyper or hypothyroid, because the thyroid runs a lot of things in the body. So we have to consider that as well. But I want you to make sure you're getting sleep. That needs to be a priority. That's key to having a good day. That's key to having enough energy. You've got to get to sleep, primary. And then we've talked about it before. You've got to exercise. If you don't exercise, then your body loses the ability to make energy. So you can't just catch up. Again, I want you to get the rest, but you're not going to make energy if you don't place the demand. So doing exercises that demand more energy from your body makes your body adapt and give you the ability to make more. You grow more mitochondria. They become more efficient. Your body physically changes depending on your activities. So you've got to consider those things. Another thing you have to do is you have to eat breakfast. We've touched on this before. They've studied breakfast as a weight loss tool. The thing is, your body wakes up in the morning, or as you wake up in the morning, you haven't eaten for hopefully 7 to 8 hours because you slept. And your body has a requirement for protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Well, if you don't eat those macronutrients, if you don't get some nutrients into your body's going to find them somewhere. It's going to steal them from you. In essence, you eat yourself. Now you've got less lean tissue, less muscle, less active tissue that's going to actually help you run your day. You've caused yourself to go backwards. Also, if you don't eat breakfast, and especially if you start skipping meals, once you do eat, you tend to lose control. So that's not a good thing either. I want you to make good choices when you decide to eat. But the main thing here, I want you to take stock of how you feel. If you don't feel honestly real good, if you don't wake up rested, if you don't have energy to get through your day, if you're finding that it seems like any little thing can give you a symptom, if you have a headache at a moment's notice, or you have a regular daily headache, something's wrong. In fact, if you have any symptoms at all, your body's, in a sense, telling you to wake up and take a look before something more serious happens. So I want you to really take stock. Think of a time when you really felt good. Maybe it was when you were younger, maybe it's right now. But take stock. And feeling good means no symptoms. Feeling good means having vitality, having energy. Feeling good is freedom from medications, actually freedom from a lot of supplements. You shouldn't require a whole medicine chest of supplements like vitamins and minerals either. If you eat well, there may be some basics you want to take, but you don't need to be dependent on drugs any more than you want to be dependent on herbs or other supplements. If you have a problem, you want to address it. But I want you to take this assessment. In fact, if you want, call our office and we'll send you a checklist of some different symptoms you need to take stock of. But there are a number of checklists like that out there, and you can just take stock. Make an examination. Do you really feel as good as you could? If you're there, I'm happy for you. But if you're not spending most of your days physically feeling good, mentally feeling good, being sharp, able to focus, all of those things, then it's time to go to work and figure out what's going on. You're the one that can do that. You can get help from doctors, you can get help from nutritionists, you can get advice, but you've got to put it together and do it. So take stock. I challenge you. I'll see you out on the trail. This is Dr. Vince Bellonzi. Stay healthy.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.